Hey guys, it's Chris here back from CNH Small Engine for another informative review video. This is actually a we want to call a disgruntled customer, if you want to call it that, review video, because I'm doing a review of two blades that have the same basic part number. One on the left hand side is a genuine OEM blade for an MTD, and the one on the right hand side is a Stens knockoff blade for the same exact part, basically. And what you see in front of me is on the left side, as I said before, is a genuine OEM blade, and on the right side is a Stens knockoff, or as Stens calls it, a equivalent blade. And you can definitely look, just by looking at it straight on here, you do see a noticeable difference in the actual blades. I want to call ability on here for like lifting up grass and stuff like that. You have this real big dip right here and stuff like that on this corner piece right here, about a halfway out on the side right here, and the Stens blade does not have that as well too. Then the other side is, if you look underneath here on the back side, they have a different shape on the back here as well too, because see how the Stens is a lot longer on here as opposed to having this nice we want to call it like a big I don't know what you call it. It's a bend. It's a we want to call a different design of the actual blade on here as opposed to the Stens knockoff blades as well too. And the other thing is the actual bow tie. They call these bow tie blades because basically, if you look where they actually contact with the bottom of your PTO for your crank down here, you have the bow tie pattern right there as well too. You can see that right there. And unfortunately, the Stens knockoff blades right here have a weird rectangular shaped piece right there that basically, as Stens calls it, a will fit or OEM spec, which basically means it's not identical to the OEM blade on it, to say the least, right there. And unfortunately, in my personal opinion, over the years here, I'm basically no longer buying Stens blades because of this specific issue. I got a box that's basically filled with these Stens knockoff blades, and unfortunately I'm no longer putting them on any blade machine because of that fact right there, because they do tend to flop around. And if they flop around on the actual portion where you bolt the blade up to the actual blade adapter, it tends to wear the blade adapter down the actual bow tie pattern on here for that. Because if you got one that's OEM and it fits right in there perfect in the bow tie pattern, it won't have any problem. But the aftermarket ones, like these Stens ones right here, they flop around and they actually wobble around inside the boat, the actual the bow tie pattern, I should say, for that. And we've seen guys who had stuff done by us about 2-3 years back, and they haven't had anything done with their machine for about, like I said, about 2-3 years. And unfortunately, this shape right here wears out the holes. I should say it actually wears out the adapter, the blade adapter itself, and it basically rounds off the bow tail pattern right here as well too, for that on the OEM, I should say the OEM blade adapter, to which this thing bolts up to underneath your machine. So basically, you bolt this thing up to your adapter on here, and this thing just flops around. There's a teeny bit underneath there, just enough to have enough room where it starts cutting up and warping and damaging the actual bow tail pattern right there for that. So that's something to think about whenever you do buy aftermarket blades such as these Stens blades for that, because of their overall cheapness and stuff like that. These Stens blades are about, I think, about $5, $6, $7, I think, like the last time I looked them up online. And the OEM blade, which is stamped underneath, you can see it right there. It says MTD right in the bottom, or it's patented. And that's basically what these things are about 18, 20, 22 bucks, basically retail price at most stores out there for that. So you get what you pay for. You want OEM quality, you gotta get OEM parts out. You want knockoff stuff, just be prepared for any kind of eventualities with the parts not wearing properly for that. So if anybody has any questions, comments, whatnot about that, just give me a message here, and I'll try to answer any questions you guys have. Thanks, guys.